Welcome back to some more battles. We are in the Open Great League again, and we're going to be trying out the Shadow Drapion paired with the Azumarill and the Florges in the back. So we got an interesting double fairy team. We catch a move. Let's see if we catch the Chilling Water. We do indeed, but we get debuffed and we get met with a Bullet Seed Cradily. So not ideal, but luckily we are able to tank one, and we get it to a Ice Beam here. This Ice Beam will do super effective damage. Not a one-hit KO, unfortunately, but it does some good chip damage, and now we can take advantage of all this energy we had left over. We fire off the Crunch into the Cradily. They actually shield just to guarantee they get a move off. So we're going to protect this Drapion here and over farm. We get to another Crunch. This will KO or get the shield. They decided to let it go. And now we're going to have the Florges with no energy into our Drapion. And it looks like we are going to be able to fire off a Aqua Tail, and then we catch a move. There's the Chilling Waters again, and we see the Talonflame in the back. So this is an interesting situation. Fairy types generally do not want to see the fire types, but these Chilling Water will come in handy. We get one debuff, unable to get to that second Chilling Water. However, this Drapion is loaded with a lot of energy. We shield here no matter what. They go for another flame charge, and we are going to fire off another Aqua Tail. This Aqua Tail will definitely take out the Talonflame, and we know that that Florges is relatively energy dry, which allows us to get to another Aqua Tail. So GG's to our opponent, able to win that game somehow, some way with our Drapion. We led with the Drapion and ended with the Drapion closing the game for us and taking advantage of all that energy we had stored up in the beginning. Next, we're going to have Shadow Drapion into the Azu Classic matchup here. This kind of depends on if we want to invest shields or if we get a debuff. So let's test our luck. Crunch is going to get used. No debuff. We are going to catch a move onto our Azu. Ice Beam is going to get thrown, so that was a great catch. And now we're going to have to face the regular Dusclops. So we can definitely tank multiple moves. They're going to be very spammy, but we're going to be able to fire off a Play Rough. And it looks like 2 Play Roughs is not going to be enough, so they're definitely going to have options. There goes the other Shadow Punch. The Shadow Punch is going to chip away at us, and we definitely don't get to a move before they do. We know we survived this. Now the question is, do we switch or do we decide to farm down? We decide to try to over farm, and they go for a Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch is not going to be effective into the Drapion. And we're going to fire out this Crunch here. And I believe we got a debuff, but they get to the move. So we're going to shield here and look for a huge farm down. We do get the farm down. That's really nice. We know that Dusclops is still lurking in the back. And they actually revealed their Sableye. So Sableye here is going to be surprised with 2 Crunches. Down goes those shields, and we get the debuff. They reset, but it allows us to farm, and they realize that that is GG's because we still have a shield. We're definitely going to shield no matter what, and we still have a fairy move. So well played by us. On to the next game. This double fairy team pretty good as far as pacing. And now we're going to have Drapion into the Blastoise. This Blastoise is very tanky. It's not a shadow, so definitely can tank moves. We are going to shield the ones here because we're going to play this out. We fire off this Crunch. Will we get a debuff is the question. No debuff, so that means that we're going to have to catch a move. This Hydro here is going to get caught. And okay, they let us overfarm a little bit extra, so we get to this Ice Beam before they can get to their move easily. But this is a Shadow Cradily. Is this going to be enough to one-hit KO? Yeah, especially a Grass Knot. And now we're going to have to come back in here with the Drapion with some energy. And it looks like they tanked the first Crunch. We're going to fire off this Aqua Tail before they get to a move. But they decide to shield just to get this debuff move off. Is it worth shielding? We're going to shield here. They combo play into their Blastoise. and that Hydro easily takes us out, but this allows us to over farm. This is going to be a Hydro. We can tank it, and let's see what they decide to come back in here with. They've shown a grass and water, and they have a Dusk Nor in the back. Our only hope here is to take this out before they can get to a move. So down goes the Dusknoir, but this Cradily is still really healthy, unfortunately, and that is going to be the end of us. Unfortunately, the Shadow Cradily ended up really helping them out because our Azu just simply cannot survive that Grass Knot from that range. Against the Scizor, it's going to be interesting. We don't really like this lead. However, we are going to be able to get a good chunk of damage off. Our opponent does build up to Trailblaze, and we decide to shield once so that we can preserve that health. And it looks like it's going to be a decent decision because now we're going to be faced with the Shadow Weezing. Shadow Weezing is going to probably have Sludge. Yep, there it is. And they are going to have really good pacing. They get to another move here. Sludge easily takes us out, especially the Shadow version. And now we're going to have to try to take this out with our Drapion. Drapion Aqua Tail is not enough. And they probably are... Okay, they had the Overheat version, so that is unfortunate for us. Easily taking us out with that Overheat. We go for a huge Fairy move, and unfortunately, this Feraligatr is just neutral, or it's neutral towards us, and we can't really survive many of these. And you can see right there that Hydro easily takes us out. So GG's to our opponent. Unfortunately, not much we could have done there, especially since that Weezing was just running the Overheat and Sludge. We are banking on them running Brutal Swing. Okay, our opponent here switches out and catches a move, so a great catch by our opponent. Unfortunately for them, we have two Fairies in the back, and especially this Azu is going to be able to tank all these moves. Shadow Altaria is going to be pretty hard hitting. However, it looks like we can easily tank two more. So let's see what they decide to do. They decide to let it go. Okay, makes sense. And now they're going to try to overfarm into our Azu. But before that can happen, we're going to be able to fire off this Ice Beam. Our opponent does throw some energy here. Psychic Fang is used. And just like that, we get to a third Ice Beam. This will get a shield. So that Azu has gave us great value. And let's see whether they're running. Oh, they are running Earthquake. That is unfortunate for us. However, they decide to switch out into their Shadow. Charizard running Dragon Breath. We shield here. They did build up to a Blast Burn, and that was a good shield. And now we can just farm down. And this is GG's because not only do we have energy, but Chilling Water is going to debuff them and their Shadow. So GG's. Check out the team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.